Good afternoon to all the participants. I am Dr. R.P. Andrew Kumar, Head of Computer Science and Engineering Department of NCB's Catholic College of Engineering, Nagarkoil, and the convener of the software cell of our college. Today, we are going to have a workshop on creating natural language processing applications using Python. Before starting today's program, few instructions to the participants. Please mute your mic to avoid the disturbances during the program. Also, I request you to switch off your camera and reduce the internet data usage. After the talk of the guest speaker, you can ask your queries by two ways. You can type your questions in the chat window and the speaker will address the queries, or you can make a hand raise and ask your queries. At the end of the program, a feedback link will be shared with you through the chat window. I request all of you to enter the feedback without fail. While entering the feedback, please take maximum care in your personal details like your name, college name, and email address. Because we are using this information to generate the e-certificates, and the certificates will be sent to you through your email. With these instructions, I would like to introduce today's guest speaker for this workshop. The guest speaker of today's program is Dr. E. Ben George. On behalf of St. Xavier's Catholic College of Engineering, I welcome Professor for this workshop. Welcome, Ben George.
Thank you, Professor.
Now I welcome my organizing team members, Engineer Anthony, Engineer Varun, and the HODs of various departments for this program. Also, I welcome all the faculty members of St. Xavier's Catholic College of Engineering for this program. Also, I welcome all the participants who are gathered here for this workshop. Now, I like to introduce the guest speaker of this program. Ben George Ephrem holds PhD degree in Computer Science from Bharatiyar University, Tamil Nadu. He received Master of Engineering in Computer Science and Engineering from Government College of Engineering, Tirunelveli, Tamil Nadu, and he is the rank holder in his PG studies. He completed his Bachelor of Engineering degree in Computer Science and Engineering from NI College of Engineering, Tamil Nadu. He is having diverse experience in teaching and research for more than 21 years in various institutions. His area of research includes data analytics, machine learning, natural language processing, and other recent fields in computer science. He had published more than 30 research papers in referred journals and conferences. He had conducted 30 workshops and seminars on various topics for faculty members and students. He is a very active member in various professional bodies like ISTE, CSI, CSTA, and Internet Society. And he is a reviewer for various international journals and the conferences. Now he is working as Faculty of Information Technology in University of Technology and Applied Sciences in Higher College of Technology, Muscat, Sultanate of Oman. In addition to all this, he is my best friend and he served our institution as lecturer, senior lecturer, assistant professor, and head of Computer Science and Engineering Department for about 10 years. With this introduction, now I welcome Professor Ben George to address the gathering. Welcome, Ben.
Thank you, Professor Anto, for your warm welcome and reminding me back to 2000 to 2008, where I was working there as a lecturer, assistant professor, as well as head of the department. And it was a very great pleasure for me to contribute to my old institution. So that's the main intention of giving this workshop. So first of all, I like to share my screen. Hope I'm audible to all of you.
Yeah, when it is audible, you can share your screen.
Okay, okay. Is my screen is visible
Yeah,
now?
now it is visible.
Okay, okay. So I welcome all the participants for this hands-on workshop on creating NLP applications using Python. So before starting, let me give you a hint. This is completely a practical session, so it is mandatory you need to have a laptop. So that's the basic thing with the internet connection. So please make sure you're getting ready with your laptop. And whenever I'm trying to execute the commands, you can also do along with me, so that you can get the practice. Otherwise, it's like I'll be doing something, you'll not get the things out. So it's better. Please make sure you have your laptop, and we are going to use the practical. And for the practical, we'll be using Google Colab. So hope everybody you are aware of this Google Colab. And those who are going to use for the first time, you can go to Google, search for Colab or Google Colab, and you will get the first link, collab.research.google.com. So this is, you just click the link and make sure you have logged in with your what you call Gmail or Google account. Make sure you logged in with your Google account. And if you're using for the first time, you'll be having only the new notebook. So you can click the new notebook. Okay. So if I want to repeat it again, search in Google Colab, and it will open a screen like this. So you can click the new notebook. So once you click a new notebook, automatically it opens a new notebook for you. And this is the notebook you are going to use for today's practice. Okay, so please make sure you are ready with this particular notebook. So what exactly we are trying to do today before starting the practical. So hope everybody you are getting ready with your laptops. So what are the things we are going to see? I'll be just introducing what is NLP and what are the different NLP tasks you can do. Then we will be installing the packages required for the today's session. Then we will be starting the hands-on session, how to use the library. Then finally, we will be creating some web applications. So this is the main aim of today's workshop. And once you complete this workshop, you'll be able to understand what is text blob library. It is used for NLP application. You'll be aware of a library called Streamlit, how you can create a web application. And hopefully we will be creating what you call a simple application that can detect a language. So if you give a text in any language, it can detect easily what is the language. Also, we try to create a translator. So from one language, we are trying to translate to another language. So these are the main aim of today's session. And before starting my practical hands-on session, let me give you a snapshot of what we are trying to do today. So we are going to create a similar kind of web application using Python today. And you can do different tasks. You can see these are the different tasks I have created, and we'll not get time to complete everything. So hope we'll be doing some of the tasks today. For example, I can enter the text over here. So this is the text box. So I have already some text. Okay. And I can select the option of translate. We have a lot of radio buttons. Very easy to create all these things. I'll be explaining. And you can have different languages, right? For example, if I select Tamil, it will be translated to Tamil. If I select Malayalam, it will be translated to Malayalam. And for example, I can also have a sentiment analysis. So if you give a text, you can identify what is the sentiment you're talking about, whether it is about a positive or whether it is about negative, right? So you can find out the sentiment. It is neutral. If I write something about good, it will be giving a positive sentiment. If I write something bad, it will be giving a negative sentiment. So you can also predict the sentiment from your text. Similarly, from what you call a text, you can identify the entities, right? So that is also possible. So different entities from your text can be identified. So this is one of the application of NLP. And you can see it extracts the different entities. For example, This is Africa. It represents a location. Okay, continent, it represents a location, and some miscellaneous. If you give a name of a person, it will identify as a person. So from the given text, it is able to extract the different things. Similarly, I can also create a word cloud. So based upon your what you call text, it creates a word cloud. Which word is repeating more number of times will be expressed in a bigger size, and the words that will be expressed in less number of times, right? The frequency, right? Then it will be appearing small. And usually it will remove all the stop words. Stop words is nothing but an off is a stop word, is a stop word. All those things will be eliminated. Okay, so our aim is to create a simple application like this. So that's the aim of today's workshop. Hope everybody you have opened your laptop. Shall we start?
Yes,
you can
sir.
type in the chat box. Yes, or you can, yes, please. Hope everybody you have your Google Notebook, Colab Notebook, so that we can start today's session. Okay, thank you for your comments. Okay, so before starting, let me give a small introduction. What is NLP, right? So if you're a beginner and you're doing first time these kind of NLP applications. So NLP is a branch of AI, everybody we know, and every day we are using Google, it's doing NLP support for us. Okay, if you're using Apple Siri, Google Translate, so many applications, right? So it's a branch of AI. And what we try to do, we try to make the computers to understand as well as interpret and manipulate human languages. So we make sure the computer is able to understand what we speak or what we type, okay, and it can interpret, it can manipulate, and it also can derive some meanings from that language, natural language. So it can be English, Tamil, or Malayalam, or Hindi, whatever it may be. So from any language, we can we can derive insights. So that's the main aim of NLP. And what are the different NLP tasks we can do? You can, as I mentioned, you can detect a language. So if I go for this option, a language detection, and if I try to detect the language, it shows this is EN. EN represents English. For example, if I try to go with some text in Tamil, so it automatically detects your language. And it shows TA. TA represents Tamil. So this is one of the applications we are going to create today. So easily you can detect a language from your text. You can go for translation. So from one language, you can do translation to another language, from English to Tamil, or Tamil to Malayalam, Malayalam to Hindi. So such kind of translation can be made easily possible. As I mentioned, sentiment. So many applications or many companies, they are doing the sentiment analysis. Why they want to do a sentiment analysis? Earlier, if I want to get a feedback about a vehicle, for example, there is a car, newly introduced car. I want to get the feedback about the car. So what we try to do, we'll give feedback form, we collect the things. Now it is not required. So only from your blogs or from your social media, we gather the text and we find the sentiment, what people are talking about this particular vehicle, whether it's about positive sentiment or it's about a negative sentiment or it's a neutral kind of sentiment. Okay, so that's one of the major area of NLP, where we can predict or we can analyze what sentiment is about. Similarly, spelling correction is also possible while you're searching in Google, and if you're making spelling mistakes, and very easily it will detect you, this is the spelling mistake, so it will take automatically the correct spelling. Also, the another task we can do is the text summarization. So again, the idea of text summarization, many companies, they are using this text summarization. For example, the same car example I try to tell. I want to know what people are talking about. So I cannot read my thousands of blogs or thousands of social media pages. I need to get a summary, like 2 pages, or let's say 1 page. For example, I'm the manager of the company. I don't want to spend huge amount of time on checking all social media blogs. So what I try to do, I try to summarize the content. What are the important things people are talking about this particular vehicle, both positive as well as negative? I extract it. So as a manager, it's necessary I can read only that 2-page document. I get an overall summary about what people are talking about that vehicle. So that is another aspect of NLP. The next one is chatbots. Hope everybody you're using somehow, maybe a voice chatbot or a text chatbot. So nowadays it's very easy to create a chatbot. Even if you're using Python, few lines of code will give you a very beautiful chatbot. That is also possible. Similarly, I was talking about named entity recognition. So I tried to use this one. It identifies it's about a person or it's about a place, right? So you can also extract from a sentence what are the different entities available. Similarly, the last task, what we can do, POS tagging. So if I give a sentence, I can easily identify what is the verb, what is the noun, what are the prepositions available. So very easily we can detect the parts of your sentence. So that is what called POS tagging. Okay, so this is just a summary about NLP, and we are going to start now the practical part. So hope everybody are ready with your laptops and you have opened your Google Colab notebook. And this is your place where you can type a code. For example, I want to print something in Python. I can give print hello. And to execute the cell, either you can click this arrow button, or you can press, or you can click Control Enter or Shift Enter. Okay, Shift Enter or Control Enter, or you can run this one. Right. So initially, if you want, you can connect your notebook to the server. Then I'm executing this one. So hope everybody you're aware of this Google Colab. So all your commands now we are going to do in this one. And if I want to create another cell, so I can have different cells. So if you scroll your mouse, if I want to create a code cell below, I can scroll my mouse here, it creates a code cell. Or if you want, you can try with this insert code cell, automatically it inserts. If I want to create a code cell above, I click code above. Okay. Also, you can also create a markdown if you want to use headings, same like this one, with bold, italics, all these kind of markdowns. If you want to do, you can select a text cell. Okay, so now we are trying to use only the what you call the code cells. So the first thing, three main libraries are required. One is a text blob library we are going to use. And what is the purpose of this library? It is purely used for analyzing text as well as what you call the natural languages. And you may be asking, already we know about NLTK, I know about GenSim, I know about Spacey. These are all very popular libraries. And you may be asking, what is special about text blob? So this is very simple library built on top of NLTK. So NLTK is the pioneer in natural language processing. And text blob is built on top of NLTK. So if you want to do things easily, don't go for what you call NLTK, go for text blob. So a single line of command will help you to do many things. So that's the purpose of a text blob library. Okay, so it's a open source Python library processing textual information, and it is using very simple API. And what's the main advantage of text blob? Whenever you use any string or any sentence or any document, text blob will automatically consider your text as a Python string. So hope everybody you're familiar with strings in Python. Okay, so all operations, if you're using for strings, that can be applied if you're using text blob, right? So that's advantage or beauty of text blob. The second library what we are going to use is a Streamlit library. And you may be asking, why this Streamlit library? Already I'm using Flask, I'm using Django, and a lot of other web applications are available. You can create web applications in Python. And why I want to use this one? Because this is very simple. No need to spend time on your design. You concentrate on your work. Very simple, elegant design helps you to do everything. So we don't spend time on designing the web pages. If you're a NLP practitioner, or if you're a data scientist, or if you're a machine learning scientist, okay, no need to spend on our design. So we need to focus on our data analysis part, or our NLP part, or our machine learning part. Okay, so this Streamlit library will help you to share whatever you have done as a web application. Okay, so that's the use of Streamlit. And why I'm going to use it's very easy and user friendly. So that's the main reason we are going to use the Streamlit library. The third library we are going to use is local tunnel. And why I want to use this local tunnel? So if I run a web application, it will be running on your local host, local machine. I want to share my application and globally, I want to share to you the link I want to share. Then I need to use a local tunnel. Okay, so these are the three libraries we are going to use. And Google Colab already having text blob installed. Local tunnel is also installed, I think. But these are the new libraries, it is not pre-installed. So it's better we try to install the libraries before starting our work. So let me start with installation. First, I need to install a Streamlit library. So what I need to do, I need to use the pip command, pip install the name of the library. So this is your first command, you need to use it, okay? So because I need to install my Streamlit library. So I can send it to you in the chat box, you can take it from there. So this is the first command you want to use. The second command, I need to install a local tunnel. This is not a Python library, this is a Node.js library. So therefore, instead of pip, I need to use npm install. Okay, so that's the reason we are using npm install. So this is the second one. So what you're trying to do, you just place the command, whatever I passed to you, okay, Streamlit install, and you can just execute the cell. It will take few seconds to install the corresponding library for you. Dear participants, you're all along with me, or you started doing along with me. If you have any issues, let me know. So it shows some warning. Hope everybody will get the same kind of warning, I guess. No need to worry. Then I'm going to install the second package, the local tunnel. So let's install the local tunnel. And the local tunnel is also installed. A text blob, it's already installed for you. Okay. Is it working for all of you? Can I get S in the chat box? So those who are doing, please tell me whether you're able to get the things done, whether it is working fine. Okay. Yes, very good. Okay, thank you. Hope everybody you're doing. So these are the two installations. Text blob, if you want, you can install, but it's already there with your what you call Colab. So I'm not going to install it again. So let's begin with some of the basics of text blob, so that can be used to create our web application. So let's start with the basics of our text blob library. So if I want to use the text blob library, we need to import it. So that's the basic idea of Python. Whenever you're using any library or any package from Python, you need to import it. So many ways to import. Either you can import the whole package, or you can import the required classes or required modules from that library. Okay. So what I'm going to do from the text blob package, I'm going to load only the class called text blob. So please type along with me. I'm going to take only a particular class from the text blob library. So therefore, I'm typing from text blob. So automatically, Google Colab will give all the possible hints because it is already preloaded with the text blob. If you're not getting, you can type text blob without space. Import the class text blob. So capital T, capital B. So don't try to have spelling mistakes. If you want, I can share this command to you. Hope you are all doing along the same new notebook. Actually, I created a notebook for my deliver purpose. That's the reason I have a lot of markdowns over here to guide me. I hope you are doing in a new notebook. So no need to worry. You just create a new code cell and you just try to type the command over there. Okay. So now, if you want to enable this one, it's always recommended, right? I need to get all the methods and functions of or attributes of this class. So better we execute the cell so that this class will be active for you. Okay. If you want, you can type in the same cell, or if you want to do with, you can go for the next cell. So now we are going to use only this text blob class, right? And any text if you give, first we need to convert as a text blob object. Then only you can do the processing. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a text, for example. I'm typing a text. So hope everybody you are aware how to create a text in Python. Either you can put a pair of double quote, you can type the text over there, or you can put a single quote and you can type the text over there. Or the third option, if I want to have my text in multi-line, okay, so whatever I'm doing here, it's a single line. You can give in only one line. I want to have a text as a paragraph. So how can I give? So in such cases, I need to give 3 starting quotes followed by 3 ending quotes. It can be single quote or double quote, and you can type the text over here. So it can extend to multiple lines. Okay, so 3 single quote or 3 double quote in the beginning, and the 3 same thing, right? So same at the end. So you can have multi-line text. So already hope you are studied this one. So let me create a simple one-line text. If I want to create a one-line text, I can go for a pair of quote. Okay. So I'm just going to give some string. I'm just typing my own. If you want, you can type the same, or you can type your own text. For example, today is Thursday. This is one of the sentence I'm going to give. And then another sentence I'm going to give, for example, Professor and Joe is organizing this workshop. So whatever you feel, you can type, right? So this is just a text, okay? And I'm saving as a string, right? So therefore, this will be a string variable, right? So if you run, automatically it will be saved. And if you want to check it, I'm going to the next cell and just type the name of your string variable. And let's see what is the output. We are getting same thing, right? So whatever we have given here, it is available here. So now if I want to do my language processing, right? In such cases, I need to convert my text as a text blob object. So how can I do that one? So it's again very simple. I just give a object name. For example, I'm giving a name called blob. So I need to convert this string to a text blob object. So just call text blob. If you type TE, automatically it will give you all the options. So no need to type the complete thing, text blob. Convert this text, right? So this text or string convert to a text blob. So I'm just passing that as a parameter. So if you run, now if you want to check it, what is that blob object? So you can see this is the same content, but you can see this is this belongs to the class of text blob. Okay, so now you can make sure this is a normal string in Python. Now that normal string we converted to a text blob and we saved it over here. Okay, so therefore it shows this is a text blob. Okay, now hope everybody are able to do this one. Any errors or any mistakes, let me know. If you have anything, please raise your hand, or you can just type in the chat box, or you can unmute. Hope everything is going fine till this one. Okay, fine. Right. So the next thing, as I mentioned, if you create a text blob object, it is similar to the same string processing. Okay. So whatever you can do in string processing, the same thing I can do with this text blob object also. Okay. For example, hope you are aware in strings, if you have a set of characters, so this will be in index 0, the second character will be in index 1, index 2, and so on. Okay, and it will also have a negative index. For example, the last character from the right side will have an index -1, -2, -3, and so on. Okay, so therefore I can apply the same indexing slicing concept for my text blob object also. So let us try that one. Blob. For example, I want to take this character D. I want to take this character D. So I know this is index 0, 1, the next one is 1, this is 2. So therefore, I need to pass 2. So if you pass 2, it will extract only the character D. Okay. Similarly, I want to extract the last or the second last character. It can be of any length, but I want to extract the second last. So if you want to extract the second last, I'll be telling blob of -2 because from the right side, the indexing starts in the negative, right? So therefore, it should show a small o in my case. Yes, it gives you o, right? Similarly, you can do slicing. For example, I want to extract sequence of characters from here. Then I can go for slicing. So let us try one example, blob. So whenever you're going for slicing, you need to use a colon. You need to mention what is your start here and what is your end. If I add one more colon, I need to mention about what is my step. Okay, so let me use only 2. I want to start from character 2. Okay, and I want to end in, for example, character 5. So if I want to end in character 5, I need to give a 6. Always remember, if you give the ending, it will stop in the previous. If you give 6, it will stop in 5. So character 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So these are the characters that will be extracted. So let's see what is that one. D, A, so this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and 5 is the space. So you will have the output day and space. So let us check. Yes, you're getting the same output. Okay. Also, all operations, whatever you're doing in strings, that is possible in your text blob as well. For example, I want to convert my whole sentence to uppercase. Okay. So you can go for the method called upper. So if you use upper, automatically the entire text blob content will be converted to uppercase. And we are very sure strings are immutable. That means any operation on the strings will not change your string. So that's the basic idea. Okay. So all concepts what you have learned in strings that can be applied here. Next, let's move to some advanced. I want to split a paragraph, whatever you have given, into sentences and words. First, let us try to split sentences, right? So how the sentence will be created, for example, it starts from here. When I see a dot over here, I understand this is a first sentence. Now I start here, I see another dot, but this is not my ending of my second sentence. This is together. This is together. Okay. Meaning is I don't end it here. So the second sentence will be here. It has to take the complete thing. Okay. So therefore, we need to split our string or text blob object into 2 sentences. So to do that one, we'll call our blob object. So blob dot sentences. So if you type SC, you can see so many things. So select sentences. So it's an attribute, no need to give parenthesis. If you run, it will show an error. So what is that error? If you read that error, as I mentioned, this text blob is built on top of NLTK. And for splitting into sentences, I need to download a module called PUNKT. So what is this module? This is having the mechanism how you can split a sentence. Don't simply split on seeing a dot. That means this is my first sentence, this is my second sentence, I will have 3 sentences. So this module is having all the requirements how to split your sentence. Okay, so let us try to install this one also so that we can continue, right? So what to do? You can just copy this one, only that red color, only this part. You can copy. You can go to the above cell. You can create a new code cell over here. Let us try to install here itself and try to remove these marks. So you need to import NLTK because text blob requires some of the help from the NLTK library. And one of the module I require is the punct, right? So therefore, let us try to install it. Now you try to execute the sentences, splitting of sentences. So if you run now, it perfectly identifies, and you can be very clear. It not seeing just dot and preparing a sentence, right? So therefore, this is your first sentence, and this is your second sentence. Participants, are you able to do this one? Whether you're getting the output, whether you're getting any error, let me know. Is it working for all of you? Can I get a yes or no from the participants? Very good, no error, right? Okay, thank you. So similarly, if you want to, if I have like 100 sentences, again, you can apply the concept of slicing, right? I want to see my first sentence. So what I will try to do, so for example, I need to take only one sentence. Okay, then I just give the index number. For example, 0 is the first sentence, right? I need to take only one sentence from there. So it takes the first sentence. So the same concept of indexing can be applied here. The next thing, we know how to split what you call a text into sentences. Now I need to split into words. So if I want to split into words, so I'm just typing blob.words. Attribute. So if you run, now it gives you all the possible words. Okay, so today is a separate word, East is a separate word, Thursday is a separate word, Professor Anto is a separate word. So all separate words are splitted. Again, you can apply, I want to take only the first word, 0. Second word, index 1. Okay, first 3 words, that is also possible. Okay, so you can work around that one. The next thing, if I have a very big text, I want to count the words. How many times the word today is appearing? How many times the word is appearing? How many times Thursday is appearing? So every word I need to make a count so that I can get some insights out of that one. So whenever you want to do that one, again we call our blob object, and there is a attribute called word counts, word_counts. So if you run, it will give you all possible words and how many times it's repeating. So is repeating 2 times and the remaining words are repeating 1 time. So very easily you can get the word counts. The next thing, if you have a text, how can I extract the noun phrases? Okay, so let's take this example string or our text blob object. We try to extract the noun phrases. Okay, so to do that one, I call my blob object dot. There is an option called noun_phrases. Noun_phrases. So if you type in, automatically it comes noun_phrases. If you run, it will show an error. And what is the problem you can identify here? If you want to understand a noun from your string, you need again support from NLTK. So there is a module called Brown that helps you to find the nouns from your text, right? So noun is nothing but a name of person, right? So all these things can be extracted from this library. So let's also install this one, nltk.download Brown. So you can go to the above cell, paste it, execute it. So now that Brown module is available in your Google Colab notebook. Now if you execute this particular cell, it extracts all the nouns. So only one noun is there. So therefore, it extracts perfectly the noun from your text. Okay. So again, I'm repeating. 2 downloads you have done. 1, to split into sentences and words, I need to download a NLTK module called Punct. So I need to download that one. The second thing, if you want to identify the nouns or n-grams from my text, I need to download a module called Brown from your NLTK library. Hope this is working for all of you. The next task, what we are trying to do, any questions, or anybody is getting any error? Is it clear to all of you? Shall we proceed, or I want to explain some of the concepts over here? Okay, thanks a lot. Okay, I'm getting a lot of messages. Fine, everything is okay. Hope everything is going smoothly. Now, whenever you have text, many of your application, they are using called n-grams. So why you need to go for n-grams? For example, if I have a string, for example, I have a string like this, downloading package. I can tell this is a 1 gram or a unigram string. If I take it together, it's called a 2 gram string. Okay. If I take this 3 together, it is a trigram or a 3 gram string or a word. Okay. So why I need to use all those things? For example, I need to go for identifying the next word. For example, I'm typing in Google downloading. Okay. I'm just typing downloading, and it automatically gives you a hint of your second word. Okay. So in such cases, I need to have a 2 gram words. All 2 gram words will be there. So what we try to do after downloading, which word is repeating more number of times. So every language models, they have their own corpus. Okay. From the corpus, it understands after this word, what is the next possible word. Many people searching for which one. So it shows you package or maybe some other thing. So that means to identify my second word, I need to store in the form of 2 grams. So I need to store download packages, download something else, okay, download games, whatever it may be, right? So we, the hint will be which people are searching more, right, which is having the highest probability, that will be given to you. So that's the reason we are using n-grams. So if I want to find the n-grams from any string, okay, so let's take our blob. First, let me print that blob so that it will be easy for us. I'm just printing the blob. Okay, this is our complete text blob, right? Our text. Now I want to extract my n-grams. So let's put dot n-grams. N-grams is a method. So try to put a parenthesis, and you can see here it's a hint. And default, it is having 3 grams. Okay, so default it's having 3 grams. So let's run and see what's happening. It gives you a list of 3 grams. Okay, so what it is trying to do, it's like taking the first 3 words. This is your first 3 gram. Then it takes, it's like a sliding window. It takes the next 3. Okay, these are the next 3. You can see here, next 3. Then it takes the next 3 strings. Is okay. So like that, it will take all possible 3 words continuous. Not, it will not take today organizing. No, it will not take. It will be a sequence. Okay, like a sliding window. It will give you all possible n-grams. I want to get only 2 grams, all 2 grams from here. So it is very easy. I'm just copying the code from here, and I'm just passing 2. So it will give you all possible 2 grams. So these are all the 2 grams available. Okay. So you can see it's like a sliding window. Okay, if you put 1, it all words will be there. No use of getting that one. It is like splitting the tokens. Okay. Now let us move to our core part. If I have a string, how can I detect the language? Okay. Again, in text blob, it's very simple. 1 line of code will automatically detect your language. Okay. So let's call our blob. I want to identify what is the language used in this blob, right? So what is our blob object? It consists of, today is Thursday, Professor Andrew is organizing this workshop. This is our text, okay? It's very clear this is English. So we need to detect it, this is English. So let's try to do that one. And there is a method called detect underscore language. So it's a method. So if you execute it, automatically it understands and it gives you a hint, this is English. Okay. What if I give another language, whether it is able to detect? So let us try to create a new blob object and we try to detect it. So for example, I'm taking a Tamil text, for example. If you want, I can share it there. So you can use the same one. So I'm going to create a new blob object first. So I'm telling this is BL1, for example. Now I need to call the text blob library, right? Sorry, class. And I pass the whole Tamil text, whatever I have given. So what we're trying to do, I'm not saving as a string. Directly I'm passing here. Okay, so therefore this entire string will be converted as a text blob object and it will be saved here. Okay, so let us run this one. Now let us try to detect the language. Okay, so to know that one, I call my text blob object bl1 dot detect language. So it shows you Tamil. Okay, so if you give any language, almost 100 and something languages it is able to detect. So it will automatically give you what is your language. Okay, hope this is working for all of you. This is the only part. We need a blob object that consists of a string, and we call the method called detect language. Okay, so it detects you the language. So the next task, what we are trying to do. So whatever you are doing here, we try to push it as a web application, what I shown to you. So we are going to use the same concept here. And if you type any text over here, you are going to get the result. So that's the ultimate aim of this particular workshop. Okay. So the next thing, what I can do with text blob, if you type some spelling mistakes, can I correct it automatically? So the answer is yes. Text blob is having an option. It tries to find the closest possible spelling. Okay, if you put a spelling mistake, a word consists of a spelling error. It tries to figure out what is the possible correction I can make it there, either by adding some characters or deleting some characters or inserting something. So it tries to find a new word, okay, that is available in your dictionary. So that's the ultimate thing. So let's try to do that one. So let us try to create another blob object. For example, BL2 I'm going to create with some spelling mistakes. Okay, let's try to have some spelling mistake. For example, I'm writing to, there is a spelling mistake, today. Yes, for example. So purposefully we'll put some spelling mistakes. So you can try with the different possibilities. Okay. And I'm just converting this as a text blob. So let us try to convert as a text blob object. So I'm having a string converted to a text blob object, and this string is having some errors. Okay. And I'm saving in a name called BL2, blob2, for example. Now I need to correct the spelling. So if I want to do the spelling correction, just I need to call the method called correct. What it is trying to do, it is taking word by word, identifies any mistake. If it is not available in dictionary, it will find out the closest word. It's having a meaning, proper meaning. Okay. So let's see what is the output. And it's not able to detect a few of the errors. You can see today it's working fine, but this one, it is not able to detect. So it is not working like 100%, right? Maybe, for example, if I try to remove this one, let's check whether it is able to detect it. Now it's able to detect, right? So it is not like 100% accurate. Many of the errors it cannot detect. For example, I'm writing. So you can try. So sometimes it may not be able to detect the correct spelling, but many of the times, majority of the time, it is able to correct the spelling. Some cases it is not able to detect it. So this is about spelling correction. So you can also create an application. If you give any text, we try to correct it. Okay. The next important task, what we are going to do, is about translation. So this is most important task. So a string or a text given in one language needs to be converted in another language. Let's say we have an English text, we need to convert to Tamil, or we need to convert to Malayalam or French, whatever it may be. Okay. So to do that one, it's very easy. Already we have many blob objects. So I'm taking the first blob object, and I'm going to call the method called translate. So translate. If I put a bracket, automatically it shows you the two parameters available. So what it is talking about, from which language. So it is mentioned auto. Auto means it is able to detect the language. If you give in Tamil, it is able to detect, that is the source language is Tamil. Okay. Then it gives you to which language I want to convert. So the default is English. So if you want to convert to Tamil, just give the shortcut code of Tamil. Okay. So I don't want to use this one. okay, let it automatically detect the language, whether it is English or Tamil. But I'm going to give the destination language. So to which language I want to convert, okay? So therefore, I'm going to use only this attribute. 2 is equal to, let's say we are going to convert in Tamil. So let me try to do that one. 2 is equal to, in single quote or double quote. So the code used for Tamil language is TA. Right. So if you try to run, automatically it converts to the destination language, and almost it makes a perfect translation, because this translate in text blob is using the Google Translate. So almost you'll get accurate result as of Google Translate. Okay. So you can see, even we have given professor, right? PROF. It is able to detect it is in Tamil Perasiriyar, right? So perfectly it is able to perfect. So perfect translation. Okay. Or if I want to translate to French, for example, only thing I need to change my destination language. So French represented by a 2-character FR. So automatically it will be translated to French. Okay. So therefore, the translation is very simple if you are using a text blob library. And the last thing what we are going to do before starting creating a web application, from a string or from a text, I can extract a sentiment, okay, whether the sentence is talking about positive thing or the sentence is about a negative, okay. So very easily we can identify. So let's take our basic blob object, the first object what we have created, and I want to find the sentiment of this one. So let me type sentiment. So sentiment is an attribute, so no need to have parenthesis. So if you run, it gives you a polarity and subjectivity. So what is the meaning of this polarity? The value of polarity ranges from -1 to +1. Okay, the understanding is, if it is positive value, the sentiment is almost positive. If it is close to 1, perfectly it is positive. If it is -0.9, -1, that means it's completely negative. So that sentence is talking bad. Okay, so it's not a good sentiment, negative sentiment. And one more parameter, what is the subjectivity? The value will range from 0 to 1. Okay, so if it is 0 or close to 0, it is just an objective statement. Okay, that means it's just an opinion. It's not. It may not be a fact. So if it is close to 1, it is called a factual information. So whatever you are trying to tell, it's a fact, well-known fact. So 2 things: sentiment I can identify from this parameter, whether it is a fact or it's just a general statement. Okay, if it is close to 1, it is really a fact. Whatever the sentence is talking about is a factual information. Okay, so let us try to give a new blob sentence and try to find. For example, I'm not going to save directly. I'm going to give a sentence now. So I'm just typing today. Today, it's a good day, for example. And for this text blob object, and I'm going to find the sentiment. So I'm just going to take the sentiment to avoid spelling mistake. Directly I'm applying. Okay, so for this sentence, please find the sentiment. And now you can see very clearly the polarity is 0.7. So it's almost close to 1. That means it is talking very good thing. And subjectivity, it's 0.6. Okay, so it is not, maybe it's a good day for you, may not be a good day for me. So it's not really a fact. So that's the reason it's giving a value of 0.6. Okay. For example, let us give a negative statement and we will check it. So today is worst day, for example. And you can see in this case, it is also taking the subjective, because if the polarity is very close to -1 or like a +1, always the subjectivity will be also close to 1. Okay, it shows -1. That means this is a negative sentiment. Okay, so You can give one paragraph, or you can give one one sentence or two sentences. It will take the average. Every sentence it will split. It will find out the sentiment of the first sentence, second sentence, third sentence, and it will give you a polarity as well as the subjectivity, right? So you can also extract the sentiment as well. Hope everybody you have completed till this one. If you have any questions, please let me know before moving to the next part. Okay, fine. Very good. I think Professor Ando said many students they are attending. Dear students, can I get some message from you whether you are able to do along with me or you are facing some issues? I think almost all faculty members they are giving the messages. Professor Ando, many students are there?
Yeah, the students are here.
Okay. I think yeah. Now we are getting from students as well. Very good. Okay. Good. I think these names are student names. Am I right? There is a number followed. Okay.
Yeah, the roll number will be suffixed by the student's name.
Okay, fine. It's good. Okay, so let's now move to creating a web application. Okay, so that's the next task. Usually everything we will do in a notebook, but if I create a new application, for example, I try to implement a new text summarization. What I have done, I referred a lot of books. I found, okay, this is the way to summarize a text. I have 1,000 sentences. I want to put it in 10 sentences. Okay, this is it's text summarization. So a lot of algorithms are there. Either I can give a weight for every word, then I calculate the weight for a sentence, then I sort it in descending order, which sentence is having more weight, pick the first 10 sentences. This is the simple algorithm. Okay, so if I implement a new thing, if I apply AI concept, okay, and I try to figure out the best sentences, but it will be written on my own, not picking the same sentences. Okay, so I just designed a new algorithm, and I want to test it, or I want to show to others. So I cannot share this notebook to others. Okay, so always what we try to do, we create an application so that we share the application so everybody can test it. Whether, for example, I have a chapter, big chapter, 100 pages. I want to get the summary because I want to study. Tomorrow is my exam. I want to study it. So let's get the summary of this 100 pages. So we just pass our 100-page document to our system. It gives you a summary, let's say 2 pages. So what I try to do, I just sit in one night, I complete the 2 pages and I understand, okay, this 100 pages are talking about, this is the essence of my 100 pages. So this is one of the application, right? So let's try to create an application, but we are not going to do something new. We are going to use all these commands from text block, and we try to create a web application. So that's the first thing, okay? So before starting, as I mentioned, for using a web application, I need to use a Streamlit library, okay? And hope everybody we have installed in the beginning. On the top, I think everybody we have installed that Streamlit library. Now we are going to use this library. And while you are installing, you may be getting an error like this, warning. Okay, and what it tells, please restart your runtime, because there is a conflict in version available in Streamlit and version of Google Colab. Okay, so what it is giving a hint, try to restart your runtime so that the error will be solved. So I'm trying to do that one. How to do that one? Go to runtime, and we have an option called restart runtime. So just click this one. So again, I'm repeating, to run Streamlit, we need to avoid this warning. So how to avoid this warning? Go to runtime, restart runtime, and click yes. So automatically you can see it is restarting. Your runtime is being restarted. Okay, now fine. So let's go for creating a simple web application first. Okay. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to create a web page that consists of a heading, and there will be an input box. You can type your age, for example, and I just display that age. That's it. So very simple application we'll create. Then we will go for our applications. Okay. So whenever I want to create a web application in Streamlit, Streamlit requires your input as a Python file, okay, .py file. And if you see these notebooks, all these notebooks are an extension of IPYNB, IPython notebook. You can, if you want, you can download this notebook as well, either as a Python file or IPYNB file. So that is also possible. Now I'm going to write a .py. Usually .py we'll write it in a, what you call notepad, and we'll be using. Okay. So we need to have a .py file. So how can I create a .py file in notebook? Okay, so that's the task. I need to create a .py file or a Python file in this notebook. Okay, and before creating, always I try to import the library so that it will give you all help for you. Okay, so let's try to import our library. Import Streamlit, and I'm going to use, always I don't want to type a very lengthy name, Streamlit. And the standard is people are using as ST. So therefore, I'm telling, please import everything from Streamlit library, and I'll be calling as ST. Okay. So just run it. So if you want, I'll share to you. So now, if you type ST dot, all the functions available in Streamlit library will be available for you. Okay. Right. Now, the first thing, I mentioned I need a Python file, not my notebook file. So if I want to create a Python file in notebook, there is a magic command called, whenever you want to use any magic commands in notebook, you can put two percentage symbol, okay? And you can just type WR. So you can see here, write file. So there is a magic command called write file. Give a space, okay? Now you can see here the options, but I'm not going to use that options. So what I try to do, I give a name for the Python file. Okay, so for example, I'm writing, this is my sample Python. So I'm just writing sample.py. You can give any name. What is the meaning? Whatever I'm typing in the cell, will be saved inside this text file with extension .py. So Streamlit can use it. Okay, that's the main aim of this magic command. Okay, so now what I'm trying to do, as I mentioned, I will be giving a heading for my web page. I'll be giving an input box, and I will just display what is typed in the input box. Okay, so let's call ST our Streamlit library. I want to give a title, so you can see all the functions available in Streamlit is available for you. You can check one by one later. So I want to give a title. So if you type T, automatically it will give you so many things available in starts with T. So select this function title, and you can give any title. For example, my first app, whatever you want, you can type it over there. So if you don't want to give this Streamlit function, any markdown you're using in any markdown you're using in your notebook, that can be also possible. Okay, how to create a markdown? For example, if you see, I have created a lot of markdowns. This is a text cell. If I double click, you can see the markdown. This is level 1 heading with 1 hash. If you want bullet, you need to put a star. Okay, and if you want to make it bold, you need to put 2 stars. Right. So these are called markdowns. So you can use the markdowns as well. Okay, so I'm going to give, and don't worry about these numbers. These are line numbers. Maybe you are not getting. And if you want to get that line numbers, I think you have to go to Tools, Settings, Editor, and you can enable this one. So you will get line numbers. Maybe your notebook, the line numbers are not available. So if you want to get the line numbers, go to Tools, Settings, click Editor, and you can enable this one so that automatically the line numbers will be available for you. Okay, that's fine. So don't confuse with this one. So now I'm going to give markdown. So any markdown you want to give, it should be inside single quote or double quote. Okay. So I'm using single quote. I want to give level 2 heading. So I'm writing some message, for example, created using Streamlit. Okay. So this is my title on my web page. This is another subheading on my web page. Now I need to have an input box. So I need to type a number, only numbers are allowed. Okay. So let's try to do that one. So I'm calling st. Whenever I want to get a number input, there is a method called number underscore input. Number underscore input. So st dot number input. And if you put a parenthesis, automatically it shows you all the parameters. So the first one, what's the label you want to display? So if there is an input box on the top, we'll have a message. What should I type there? Okay. So I'm just typing, for example, enter a number or type a number. Type a number. So if I want to add other parameters as well, just put a comma. Collab will do everything for you. Now it shows whether you want to specify any minimum value, because it's a number. I want to set up all my validations. For example, I don't want to go beyond 0. So let me put my minimum age as 0, comma. Again, Google Colab will come to the next one. So you finish minimum value. Now it's asking whether you need to have a maximum value. Beyond that, we don't want to go. Yes, I try to fix it 100, for example. If I put a comma, it shows whether you want to put any default value there. It's asking the text box whether you want to put any default value. Let me tell, for example, I want to put, for example, 25. Next, it tells whether you want to increase. So there will be a plus button and minus button. Whenever you click that plus, whether you want to increase by 2 or increase by 1. Okay, so I don't want to use that one. Okay, so I'm ignoring. So I'm going to create a text box or an input box that will accept only numbers. This is the message displayed on top of the text box. The value I can enter starts from 0 to 100. And every time once you run that one, it starts with a number 25. Okay. And whatever you type here, I need to save it in a variable. So let me save it in a variable, for example. Now, so in the input box, whatever you type will be saved in this variable. Okay. The next thing, I just want to have a button, same like this one. If I click this button, I need to display this number. Okay. So I'm going to use a if condition. If you click that button, so that's what I'm writing, if condition. If st dot button, so automatically it creates a button. It automatically creates a button. So on top of the button, what do you want to type? For example, here I have typed detect language. Okay, so what you need to type on top of the button? So for example, I'm just typing submit, for example. If you click, so what this command is doing, it is creating a button, and if it is clicked, that means this returns a true, right? So if you click that button, so see here I'm putting a colon, and I'm coming inside the if condition. So that means the indentation is very important. Don't type it from here, okay? It will show an error. So whenever you're writing the body of an if condition, we have to write as intended format, okay? So what I'm trying to do, I'm just displaying the number. To display the number, I'm writing st.write, for example. It's a command to write anything. And I'm going to just give a message. The number is, this is just a message, the number is. Now, same like your print command, right? So this displays the message, and I need to print this number. So I'm just typing my number. And once I complete my task, okay, for example, I want to tell everything is done. So there is a very beautiful animation available in Streamlit. It will enable balloons. So you can type st.balloons. So automatically, once you complete your task, the balloons will be popping from the bottom. Okay, so that's it. So what we're trying to do in the simple app, okay, we are giving a title, we are giving a subheader, and we are having an input box. We are having a button. If the button is clicked, you display the number and enable the balloons. Okay. So if I run this code, now it shows a message writing sample.py. Now you may be asking a question, where is this sample.py? And if you want to see the sample.py, you go to this folder, and you can see here the newly created sample.py Python file is available. And if you want to open it, you can double click it, and you can see whatever we typed, it's available here. So whatever you typed here, everything is available. If you want, you can download the file as well. Just by selecting the 3 dots, you can download the Python file. And if you check it, the same, whatever we typed, it's available here. Okay, so therefore, this is the way to create a Python file inside your Google Colab. Okay, so if anybody struck with some command, I'm just giving you in the chat box. The next thing is, I need to run it. So to run it, I need 2 commands. One is the Streamlit server, or the Streamlit, I have to activate the file. Another one, I need to use the local command. So I will give a command for that one. So this is the first command to run your file. Okay. Then the second one, to create a local tunnel so that your web application will be available in port 8501. Okay. And what is the file name you have given? So the file name is sample.py. Okay. So therefore, I'll give the same file name, sample.py. So this is the command we have to use. So I'm just giving the command to you. So let's try to do that one. So I'm taking this command. I'm coming here. So let me put the command over here. So now execute this cell. So if you execute this cell, it takes a little bit time. Sometimes if it is not executing, stop it, run once again. And it gives you a URL. So this is the URL. If you want, you can share this URL. Anybody can access your application. And how to open this one, just click this URL. So if you click the URL, it takes you to a reminder whether it's going on a local tunnel, you are going to open a tunnel. So click continue. And yes, there is a small mistake, I made it there. So the problem is, it is telling in the file you're using ST. I don't know what is that ST. Okay, so hope everybody you're getting this one. So I will go here, stop my server. So what is the mistake I made? For this notebook, the Streamlit is available. For this Python file, I didn't import the Streamlit. Okay, so therefore, what you need to do, you have to use this command in the Python file. So any library you're using, any library or any package you're using, it should be also available in your .py file. Okay, so that's error. So now I added this one, import Streamlit as ST. Now it understands what is ST. Okay, so let us run again. So to save this one, again I need to run. So it shows overwriting sample.py. Now you activate your server. Every time it creates a new URL for you. So just click the URL. It will take you to a reminder. Click continue. Now we are getting a web page. Okay, and you can see this is our title we have given. This is our subheading we have given. And this is a message we have given for our input box. And you can see here the default value is 25. Okay, you can increase it, you can decrease it, you can type it. Okay. Now, if you click the submit button, automatically it shows you what is the value selected, and you can see the balloons are popping out. So every time if I run, and it shows you a different value. For example, I try to put like 100, for example. And as I mentioned, the maximum value is 100. I cannot go beyond 100. Let me try with 105. And it shows the value should be less than or equal to 100. Okay, so therefore, it is not taking up that value. Okay, I cannot go beyond 0, below 0. Okay. So therefore, you're getting a message as well. Okay, so this is your simple Streamlit application. Anybody is getting any error? Let me know. The participants, whether it's running for you, and make sure your server is running. Very good. This is the code. I missed one of the code. I added it here because I need to import the library. Otherwise, it will not work. And the application is running here. You can type any value. If you're getting an error, maybe with your firewall, maybe if your internet connection is slow, maybe some of the issues may come. Hope it's working for all of you. Students are able to run this command. It's working. Whether you're able to create a web application. Yes. Okay, very good. Okay, so let's go to our main task. Okay, what I need to do first, I need to create a web application to detect a language. So that's the first web application I'm going to create. Okay, so what we try to do, we take some of the things required from here, so it will be easy for us to do. Otherwise, we'll be repeating the same task. So I'm going to take the first 3 lines. So the first 3 lines, I'm creating a Python file, importing Streamlit library, giving a title. So these 3 things I'm just taking from my previous one. I'm going to a new code cell and pasting it. And better, I can give a new file name so that every time you create a new Python file, it will be available here. Okay, so let me tell, this is language detection. So I'm writing, for example, I'm just typing lang.py. If you want, you can give any other name. Okay, and we can tell this is the language detection app. And as we are aware, we need to use one more library. It's available in our notebook, but inside the Python file, it should be also available. So therefore, we have to use our text blob as well, because the language detection, translation, everything, we need the support of text blob. Okay, so therefore, we will import that library also. So I'm just typing from, if you have done already, you can take it from the top, from text blob. Import text blob class. So what is my first thing, what I want to do? Since only one, I'm not going to give this radio buttons. I need a text box. Okay, I need a button. Okay, so I need a text box. I will type it here. Then if I click this button, I will be telling this is English or Tamil or whatever it may be. So my requirement is heading is done. I need a text box. Okay, so let us try to do that one. And before that, if you want, you can stop your application. If you stop automatically, you can see my previous application because I stopped it. See, the execution is stopped. So therefore, the application will also stop. Okay. So first thing, I need a, what you call a text box. Okay, so let's create a text box. I need to use st.text. So we have 2 options. Either you can go for a text area or a text input. For example, if you want to get an input like your name, it's like 1 line. Then I can go for a text input. If I want to have a very big paragraphs, right, I need to go for a text area. So I need to go for the second option or second function, text area. So text area. Now again, if you put a bracket, parenthesis, it will give you all the options. What's our label? So what is the meaning of label? I need to type something, right? Give a hint, enter something, right? So the same thing I'm going to do now. First, let me type a text, enter text inside or text here. Okay. And to know about your other options, just put a comma. It will give you all options. Whether you want to give a default value, okay, once the text box is available, whether you want to give a default value, better not to keep your text box blank. So I will give some text so that every time the text will be available. The next one, if you want to have a big size, the size of the text box is small. Okay, if you want to make it little big size, the height parameter can be added. Okay, so let me do the second one, the initial value. So for example, I'm writing whenever the text box is open, always have this message. If you want to have a little bigger box text area to be visible, you can change it. For example, I'm writing 200 pixels height I require. Okay. So now the thing is, whatever you type, okay, it should be saved inside a variable, a string variable. Okay. So therefore, what I'm going to do, I'm going onto the left. Whatever you type on the text box, I need to store it. For example, I'm writing this is my text. So whatever you type will be saved inside a normal Python string, right? So whatever you type here, it will be saved here. Now, if I want to detect the language, this is not enough. I need to convert my text to a text blob object. Okay, so let's try to do that one now. For example, I'm writing this is blob. If you want, you can use another spelling, no problem, right? Now I need to convert the content of the text box, okay, to a text blob object. So I'm writing text blob. Okay, so now the blob, I can use it to find the sentiment, I can use it to find the translation, I can use to detect the language, all such kind of things are possible, okay? If you go up, how we have detected the language, let's see. See here, that blob object dot detect language. So if you use this one, easily you can detect your language. Okay, so therefore, if you want, you can take it from there. So I'm coming down. Next, I want to convert, or I want to find the what you call language. When I want to do, if I click a button, because I need a button now. Okay, so if I want to create a button, the same already we have done, st dot button, and I'm going to give on the top of the button, so detect language, for example, detect language. If this button is activated, now I use this blob object to detect the language. Okay, so therefore, what I'm writing, my language I will be storing in the variable LAN. My blob here I'm using BLB. Okay, so BLB dot. Now I want to use the method called detect language. So detect language. Right. So if you click the button, it will take the content of your text box, convert to blob object, detect the language, and it will be saved inside this one. So I want to print the language now. Okay. Two options. Either I can go for st.write, or just you can mention the variable name. Any variable, if you just mention it here, automatically it will be printed there. Okay. So therefore, I'm just typing my variable name in there. So putting together two libraries very important. Heading we added. We have a text box. Whatever you type will be stored here. That text we converted to a blob object. If I click the button, the blob object will detect the language of your text. It will be saved here, and I'm printing the language. Okay, that's it. So if you want, I can give this to you. And make sure you have an indentation here, otherwise it will not work. Okay, so make sure you have an indentation here. If condition, then we have an indentation. Okay, fine. So let's execute this one. And it is giving first time, it gives a message writing lang.py. So if you want to make sure it is available, it's available here. And you can open and check. Yes, whatever you typed, it's available there. Next thing we need to run. So if you want to run, already we use the same command, right? We are using run, streamlit run, and we are using the local tunnel as well. Only thing, change your file name. So here we are using lang.py. So therefore, I want to change the file name. It is lang.py. Okay, so let's run and check. So we are getting our URL. Continue. And you can see we got our application with the heading. Okay, it is giving a message, enter the text here, and default, it always comes with good day because we mentioned over there. Now, if I click detect language, it has to give the language. So now it gives you the language EN. EN stands for English. If you want, you can try with Tamil language or French, for example. I'm giving a French language. So I'm just going to paste it over there. We are asking to detect the language. It shows French. Okay, for example, if I want to try with Arabic, perfectly it works. So we have created our first language detection app. It automatically creates your language. Okay, so whatever language you're typing, it automatically detects. Is it working for all of you? Only 9 lines of command. Then you execute that Python file. That's it. You'll get an application. Okay, sir. Anybody?
Hi, sir, can you please show the command to run?
Okay. Already I shared in the chat box, sir. If you want, I will send it again. Make sure you have your file name, the Python file name. Make sure the file name is same. Otherwise, you'll be getting an error. Anybody is facing any issue? Let me know. Anybody else is having any issue in executing this one? So what is the main takeaway for students? So if you're doing projects, no need to concentrate more on your web application design if you are using Python. You concentrate on your background. Right? If it is a machine learning application, you concentrate on ML part. Creating a web application is very easy if you're using Streamlit. And again, if you want, you can use it in Notebook, or if you're using your Anaconda Navigator, it's fine. You can go to Anaconda Navigator. You can use Spider. You can use VS Code, right? So therefore, what you call, it can be also run. And there is a question, what happens if you use 2 different languages? So the thing is, for example, if I mix Tamil and English, so what the translator is trying to do, it is not concentrating on English, it focuses on Tamil. It gives you Tamil. And again, some cases, right, it takes the length of the string. If the length of the string in a particular language is more, it is considering in another language. So you can also try with mixing different languages, okay? It gives you, it will work, but it has to give only one. It will not give you 3 possibilities. Only one answer it will come, because it takes the probability, which language, right? It ranks. Then it gives you only the top output. Okay, that's the reason you will get only one result. Is it okay? Shall we continue one more application? The time is there. Professor Anto, shall we go for one more thing to do the translation?
See, what about the audience? If you are interested, we can continue. Okay, if you are able to wait for some more time. Audience, please respond.
Shall we proceed with one more application?
Yes, we can proceed then. We can.
Okay. Thank you. So let us start. Let us stop our application. Next, what we try to do, I try to add one more thing. Okay. So what we are going to do now, we'll add one more thing. So these 2 things, I will go for language detection as well as translation. 2 things. So if I select this option, translate, our application will take the string and we will also give a language. It will convert to a particular language. Okay. If you select language detection, it will detect language. Okay. So that's the next thing we are going to do. So let's close our application as well. Okay. Right. So what I'm trying to do, I'm going to take our second program. We will add few things over there, right? We will have a we'll have a an option button, right? Using this option button, we will try to find which one you want to take it. Okay. So let me take the same code. So now what is my requirement? I will be changing the application name. So this is example language detection and translation. So it's better to make it translation. And we'll be having a text box. Fine. Whatever you're typing in text box will be converted to blob object. Now, before the submit button, right, I need to have this option button. I need to have this radio buttons. Okay, so before that or before the text box, we'll have the option button. Then if you select language detection, we will go for language detection. If you select translate, we will go for translate. Okay, so let's try to do that one. So before the text area, now I'm going to add a new radio button, which will have two options. Okay, whether you want to go for detecting the language or a translation. Okay, so let's start st.radio. So if you want to create a radio button, you need to go for radio. And as I mentioned, the first one will be the label to explain what you have to do. So I'm writing, so select your option, select your choice. Second thing, for example, I have two choices. Now you can see here options. It will be in the form of a sequence. So it can be a list or a tuple. Those we call as a sequence. So I'm going to use a tuple usually represented using the parenthesis. Two options I'm going to give, detection or translation. Okay, so same like this one, I need to display a message, right? So the same I'm going to type here. For example, I need to go for detection, the first option. The second option is translation. Now, whatever you are selecting in this radio button, I need to save it in a variable always. Okay, so that's the thing. Okay, if you select detection, detection should be saved. If you select a translation, translation should be saved. So let me come back to the beginning, and I'm going to tell this is my option, for example, option. Again, I'm repeating, we have radio button. Two options will be there, a detection and translation. Default, it will be fit to detection. Okay, and if you select translation, translation will be put there. Okay, so hope you are able to understand. Now the next thing, this is fine. Now my first option is here. What is my first option? I need to have a button. If I click the button, I will detect the language. So when I have to do, if my option selected there is equal to detection, I will do this one. Okay, so therefore I'm going to write another if condition here. After creating the blob object, I'm going to write another if condition. So if the variable option, right? So the variable option double equal to, you have selected detection, right? If you have selected detection, so make sure whatever spelling used here, put it over here. Otherwise, you'll be getting an error, right? So therefore, make sure the same spelling. If it is detection, just execute this one. So what I need to do, I need to indent this one. So how to do the indentation? Select the lines of code, press tab key. If you press tab key, now it is understood. If you select the option as detection, do this one. And if you want to unindent, right, you want to come back to your original position, shift tab will take you back to unindenting. If you want to indent it, select the lines you want to do indentation, because if it is detection, you do this one. Okay, so therefore, now I'm coming to this part. Okay, if it is not detection, okay, so therefore I'm going to write the else part. So come to the beginning of the code, right? Come to the beginning, else. If you have multiple options, you can go for else if, right? ELIF. So since I have only two options, I'm going for the else part. Okay. If it is not detection, what I need to do, I need to go for a translation. So what I need to do for translation? That's the next question. If I see my application, if you see here, this is the translate application. We have a text box. Now I have a drop down over here. Okay, I can give list of languages, Tamil, Malayalam, whatever it may be, right? So then if I click translate, it will translate to your particular language. Okay, so below the text box, I'll be giving a drop down option. Okay. So using this drop down, we are going to select the languages. Okay. So let's try to do that one now. So I'm going to display a select box now. Okay. So how to do the select box? st dot select box. So st dot select box, the bracket, and select box we need to have a label. So I'm typing select your language, select language. Now, what is the next thing I want to give? What are the different options? Okay. So what I'm trying to do, since we have less time, I'm not going to give same like this one, Tamil, English. I'm going to use the shortcut names only. Okay. So if you want to do that one, what you can do, I suggest you create a dictionary, a Python dictionary, and what the dictionary should contain, the name of the language as the key, and the shortcut code, French FR, Tamil TA, right? Malayalam ML, okay, that will be the value. So that is also possible. So I'm trying to give only the shortcut names, for example, TA for Tamil, ML for Malayalam, for example, Hindi, HI, for example, French, I think FR. So these are the options. And what option you're selecting should be saved inside a variable. So I'm going to have a variable here. For example, I'm telling this is my L. I'm writing a shortcut. Already I have LAN, I'm using L. Okay. Hope this is everybody you have understood. So I'm going to use create a select box like this, and I'll be giving the list of options. Okay. Due to time constraint, I'm giving only the shortcut names. Otherwise, what you can do, you can have a dictionary, Tamil, key, and the value will be TA. Malayalam is the key, you will have a value. So you can select from the key and values. So that is also possible. After selecting the language, okay, I will have a button like this. After selecting the language, we will have a button, then it does the translation. Okay, so let's go for creating a button. If st.button, st.button, and just what should be displayed on the top of the button. So I'm going to have translate. If you click this button, I need to go for my translation. So how we have to do that translation? So let's go and check on the top how we have done our translation. So we are calling our blob dot translate. Then I need to mention to which language you want to translate. Okay, so let's try to do that one. So what is our blob object name? It is BLB. Okay, so therefore I'm calling that one BLB dot translate. And make sure you're indenting the content, right? It is shifted right, translate. And the attribute is to which language. So now I'm not going to translate to one language. I have multiple options. Okay, I can translate to Tamil, I can translate to Malayalam, I can Hindi, and so on. And that will be saved inside this L. Okay, that will be saved inside this L. So therefore, I'm going to tell, please take it from L. If you select Tamil, it will be converted to Tamil. If I select Malayalam, it will be translated to Malayalam. Okay. After translating, I need to save it in a variable. For example, this is my result, and I want to print the result. So to print the result, I'm just typing tr. What is tr? It's a string. That string can be simply typed, or you can use st.write. Okay, so what we try to do, two choices we are making, deduction and translation. If you do deduction, do this one. If you select translation, come have a select box with multiple options. One of the option will be saved inside the variable L. If I click the translate button, I will be calling my blob object, and I will ask to translate to that particular language. It will be saved inside tr, and I'm just printing it. Okay, so if you want, I can give the code. Okay, so let's try to run this one. we'll change the name of the file better. So if you want to change the name of the program, for example, I'm writing nlp.py, for example. So make sure you're changing the file name. If you're using old file name, no problem, it will be overwritten. Now let's run our server. And make sure you're using the same Python file, okay? So it is nlp.py. And before that, you create this Python file. So otherwise it will not work, right? So let me create the Python file and make sure the file is available. You can see nlp.py file is there, okay? So now let's try to execute our code. And we got our application now, language detection and translation app. And we got the message detection and translation, okay? And the default is here. So if you click detect language, it shows EN. Now I go for translation. If I select translation, it gives you another option, which language you want to translate. For example, default is Tamil. So I want to translate to Tamil. And it gives you a beautiful translation, right? If you want to translate in Hindi, for example, it translates to Hindi. So you can change the content of the text, whatever you want. Also from Tamil to another language also you can translate. But if you translate from the same language to same language, it will show an error. Only thing you can write a if condition there, okay? Another thing you have to add, if the source language and destination language are same, don't do it, okay? So one more if condition you need to write. For example, I'm taking Tamil, I want to translate to Hindi. And that's what the error I was talking. For example, from Tamil, if I want to translate to Tamil, it shows an error. No translation happened because the same language I'm translating to the same language. So how it can be solved? You just write a if condition. If the language available here is same as this particular language, just give a message. You don't select the same language. Okay, that's the only if condition you need to type. If I select another language, for example, French, it works perfect. Is it working for all of you? In the chat box, I have given with another name. Please make sure to change the file name, right? So if you are using NLP, here also NLP. If you are using lang.py, use the same here to execute that one. So you can keep on adding different options. Whatever we learned here, maybe as a homework, you can try, and if you have time at home, you can try this one. For example, you can extract the sentiment. So what I need to do in my application, I will have one more option here: detection, translation, sentiment. Okay. Now I need to have a else if condition here. If it is sentiment, right? So what you need to do, if you are getting a sentiment, for example, how can I find the sentiment, for example? So we focus only on the polarity. Okay. So I can write if condition. So for example, if I want to get the polarity, for example, blob sentiment, only the polarity I want to get. So that's what I'm trying to show you. Sentiment dot polarity. The problem is I'm running that server. That's why it is not executing. So you have to stop it. So let me create that one blob first. And you can see you're getting the polarity, right? So if you want to get the polarity, just add polarity as well, right? For example, if it is equal to 0 or like 0.1, 0.2, I can tell it is a neutral sentiment. If it is above 0.2, I can come to a conclusion it's a positive sentiment. If it is less than negative 0.2, I can tell it is a negative sentiment. So you can have a if condition, right? So you take the result of the polarity. If it is above 0.2, positive. If it is less than -2, it is negative. Otherwise, it's neutral. Okay, so you can add this one. Similarly, you can also have another thing to do the correction. Okay, so what do you need to do? Only thing you need to add a option button, correction, another else if condition, add the detection part, so that you will be able to add all the features. So whatever you learned on the top, you can use it. Okay, so I can share this notebook to you. So you can download my notebook, what I have done. This complete notebook you can download from the link. Maybe today night I will close it. So before that, if you're able to download, please download it so that you can use it. Okay. For example, if you want to use a new notebook, okay, so already you have downloaded a notebook, for example. Let me show you how to use that one. For example, I downloaded this notebook as Python notebook. Okay. And if I want to open this notebook from my desktop or from my downloads, okay, so you can go to File, you can click Upload Notebook option, then you choose the file. And this is my download. For example, I take another one, for example. So it opens another notebook for you. Okay, so this is the way you can download the notebook I shared to you, and you can open in your Google Colab environment. So what we have done till this 1.5 hours, right? We started with the basics of NLP. I explained the different tasks you can do, and we discussed about different libraries required to do NLP in a short way: text block, Streamlit for your application, and local tunnel to run your application not as a public one. Then we created any string, we converted to a text blob object. Then we tried with the different options. And only one important thing you have to remember, the idea is text blob is same to your string. Okay, it should be considered as a string. Any operation you are performing on Python string can be done on a blob object. Okay, then we splitted sentences, we done word count, we have find out the n-grams. Then we started our main task of detecting languages, translating, correction, sentiment. So these are the main things we have done. Okay, and my email ID. Any questions? Let me get some questions. Participants, if you have any questions, let me know.
Yeah,
Or
participants.
anything you,
Yeah, if you have any
yes.
queries, you can ask. Ben, there are a lot of positive feedbacks from the participants.
Okay, fine, very good. Thank you. Hope I think you're able to do something and you got some idea. That's the main motive.
Yeah, Ben, I will be collecting feedback from all the participants, both those who are joined here and in the classrooms also, and I will share that to you also.
Okay. Thank you very much.
So the participants, if you have any feedback, you can fill this feedback form. I am sharing the link to you. And if you want to share any feedback directly, then you can share in the meeting itself.
I want to hear something from the students attending. Let me hear from you at least. You can unmute your mic, and can any one of you tell what we have learned, or is you learned something, or the session was okay, you're able to follow? Can I get something from any one of the student?
And when there is a feedback from the student in the chat window.
Okay, fine. No questions. That's it. Okay, that's it. So thank you very much for all the participants for attending this workshop. Hope you have got at least some intuition to go into the NLP application, to create a web application using Python. Okay, so that's the main intention of this workshop. And I especially thank Professor Al-Khuwair, Mr. Anthony, Mr. Arun, and all the faculty members of Computer Science Department of St. Xavier's Catholic College of Engineering for inviting me for this session. And hopefully we'll be joining again in the next year in another session. So thank you very much, all.
Yeah. So before winding up the webinar, I have to thank the trainer for today's session. The session was a wonderful one. Here the audience of mixture of people, here doctorate peoples are there, professors are there, then assistant professors, lecturers, and the students, faculty members, non-teaching staff, all are here. But everyone are able to understand the process. Okay, the workshop was wonderful. It was a hands-on also. So everyone enjoyed that, but I feel the duration is lesser. Am I right? So it will take one day to understand everything.
Yes.
But due to the shortage of the time, you are not able to arrange that. In your feedback, you can give the comment. If you are willing, if time permits, and the slot available, Professor Ben's slot is available, then we can plan one more session in this area. So that's, I am coming to the concluding session at the time. My special thanks to Professor Ben George for sparing his time and being with us in this time. Thank you, Ben, for being with us and explaining everything. Thank you very much. Also, I thank the management of St. Xavier's Catholic College of Engineering, our correspondent, principal, and all the HODs, deans, and all the faculty members and the students for motivating us to organize all these programs. Also, I thank all the participants for actively participating in this program. So thank you very much. I have already shared the feedback link. Again, I am sharing. If you completed feedback, then you can leave this meeting. Thank you very much.